Well, yeah, so my name is Mika. I work for Bolton Menk Engineering. I have been with them for 3 years on and off as a design engineer. I do construction inspection and project management in the summer, and in the winter and fall, I do CAD drafting and design for plan sets. So I went to high school in a really small town in Northern California. It had my graduating class was 125 people, and anybody who got over 4.0 was a valedictorian. So there was a lot of people, and high school was pretty easy. And then I got to college and I went to Rensselaer Polytechnic, which is one of the oldest civil engineering schools in the country, but I could care less at that point. And I went in as a physics major, but before I got there, I was trying to get out of it because I realized how terrible I was at physics. And so I spent 2 years trying to get out of it and also realized I'm really bad at college. So I spent this whole 2 years trying to get my GPA high enough that I could transfer to engineering. Meanwhile, I did concrete canoe, which is just building a legitimate concrete canoe and racing it down the river. So I could get a feel for civil, and I tried some materials classes and I tried some mechanical classes. And when I got into civil, everybody was super level-headed and really nice, and they all seemed to just jive with my personality. So I stuck with it. I started with Bolton Menk when I was a junior in college and interned, and I showed up the first day, had no clue what I was getting into. My parent supervisor was nowhere to be found because he was so busy all the time. So I just kind of stumbled through the day. But every day after that, I woke up so excited to go to work because I got to be around heavy equipment. And I thought that was the coolest thing, and that they look like dinosaurs. And I was like, wow, I'm really nerding out with this because you're just digging dirt and moving it from one place to the next, which seems really not exciting. I mean, when somebody asks, what do you do for a job? Oh, I move dirt. It's not that exciting. But when you see these huge macro size projects, it just brings everything to life and it makes you very excited. We take them on, we start a preliminary planning. So the planners take it first. They'll say, okay, what is your end goal? What do you want it to look like? Do you want high rises? Do you want individual homes? Do you want townhomes? What do you want? Do you think we need to redo the sewer and the water? And then as we go through the design process and we build a plan set that has sheets for each that details each portion of it, we'll have a field tech or a field person or anybody who's available really go into the field and see what the condition of the infrastructure is. And then once you do that, then you get your full plan set and you send that to city council or whatever your approving board is. It usually goes through anywhere between 2 and 3, sometimes more iterations. And then once it's approved, you have a project manual that goes along with it that details anything like if you have to redo the grass because your contractor screwed it up again, then the city isn't going to pay for it. So it details all of this like legal stuff. Then you get to your construction phase and you start off with a pre-con and you meet the prime and everything. So I guess I should say before that, you have the bid process. So the bid is a publicly bid project, usually with us. It goes out by advertisement on a website or in the local paper, different things like that. The contractor will bid on it and it goes to the lowest bidder. Once you get that, then we do the pre-con, and that pre-con, you go over all your basic information. Once you get doing that, then you go and you tell all the residents when everything's going to happen, and then you start construction, and then you do that whole process. And then at the end of the season, hopefully everything's done on time, and then you close it out and you send them your final payment. And as long as everything has been done satisfactory, then that's the end of the project. So as far as our project process goes, when we start a project in the fall, we do the design, it goes to city council, it gets approved in a 3-step process. With everything that happened, that 3-step process was much slower because city council was no longer meeting. The other side of that is once everything is approved, since we work with residents directly, we need an easement. So an easement is an additional portion of the property that we take on to do our construction work. And those easements were delayed by 1, 2, sometimes 3 months because we couldn't find a notary or we couldn't find somebody like that. So it was delayed and it definitely suffered and caused our project to fall behind. Yeah, so as a civil, I mean, especially with the vaccine, everything coming out, transport is huge. So we've always been considered essential work, because not only are the roads important, but you have all these people staying home. So like your sewer system and your water system have been amplified in their need, like tenfold. And so you have more breaks, you have more repairs needed, all sorts of stuff to make sure that people can stay home and feel comfortable in their home and they can work from home. And then when those vaccines need to get out, not only do they can stay at home, but now they can get from point A to point B on this road that we have redone. So you're not hitting potholes left and right and the vaccines flying all over the trunk. So yeah, problem solving is the biggest one, is what you learn in school. I mean, that's why you pay the big bucks, is to learn how to problem solve. But in my job right now, I do a lot of surveying in the field, and that requires a lot of geometry. So that would be the basic concept that has carried me through. Is just, sine and cosine and figuring out angles of triangles, because when you survey, you have your 3 points to try and correlate what your height is, or how far you're trying to go, or what your elevation is of your pipe. So